mixture of 7 categories in one here today. Paul Morris is alongside me for the first race. Tony Quinn scored pole position today. Harry Jones is on the front row, the first of the McElroy cars. Ryan Sewell inside the second row. Jeff Taunton, a guy you know very well, standing on that second row.
Good job then. We've got Luke Gild and Josh Fibe, the first of the Super 3 cars.
And then down the field, we've got the likes of Anthony Tenkate in the TA2 class. And then the first of the 86ers, Andrew Wilton, Kate Crawford, John Graham, and another Morris. The boy
Flash
qualified towards the back of the field.
Dead last. Anyway, he can only go forward from there, mate.
Absolutely. So a great combination of cars from Queensland. It's a rolling start, a timed race, so not a lap distance race, and a mixture of Aston Martin and Porsche on the front row.
Well, we're going to see some different power outputs here, so should shuffle up a bit at the start, but I've had a good talk to all these drivers who just wanted to get through the first couple of corners, then take the gloves off and let it rip.
It's about to happen as they come towards the man with the green flag. Looks good for the first few rows. Maybe it's stacked up on the inside as we go green for the first race of the weekend. As everybody fans out through this very fast sweeper through the right hand. I love this camera shot. Speeds of over 230 km/h.
Tony Quinn throws the big block, covers him off.
We're going to pull it up. Jones looks for that switchback on the exit past the Shannon's Insurance wall cam for the first time. He's about to be passed by the look of it. Taunton under siege for third position, but it's Tony Quinn that leads us through Hino corner.
Yeah, he's just driving pretty crafty there, Quinny, covering his line. Wait for the tyre tents to come up, and then he'll let the big Aston Martin loose.
There's Josh Fife on the back of the Mark Cars entry of Jeff Taunton, the battle for third and fourth position.
He's having a look up the inside. No, yeah. No chance there. Taunton will run wide a bit.
Bit brave to do it there on the first lap.
Well, these young guys that are used to racing Super 2 and Super 3, they're ready to go as soon as the flag drops.
So in car with Luke Gild and former Bathurst champion Jason Gomersall, after starting from the pit lane, is now coming to a stop just over the top of the bridge there. That's on the run down into turn 5. And he's off the racing line. It's a narrow part, isn't it?
It is. There's nowhere he can really get out of the way here, so hopefully he can refire that thing and we can get some racing going.
And already the Ford Raptor recovery vehicle straight on the job, so we might be able to keep this race alive as Tony Quinn leads the end of lap number 1. Harry Jones goes with him. It's Taunton, Fife, Yulden, Ryan Sewell, Declan Fraser and Hargraves, the top 8 as we start the second lap. And now the safety car is called.
All right, let's hopefully that will not take long to tidy up. Just a flat toe is what we call, is put a strap on it and drag her out of the way.
And lucky there's just a hole in the wall there to put the FG Falcon behind. So tough start. He qualified inside the top 10 in position 9 earlier today, did Jason Gomersall. We take a look. The replay at the start now. Pretty even from the front row as everybody hustled. The inside lines look like they're a bit stacked up.
No, stacked up, and watch Quinny just goes defensive and gives him no option down here. Inside Luke Gilden has a bit of a look. Look at the Mark car and the V8 Super 3 car. Plenty of straight line handling and pulls away.
You don't want to be on the outside to that.
And here's look at Luke under brakes. Boom.
Round the outside. Lucky.
Move, isn't it?
He was pointing left when he was trying to turn right, and Fife covered him off nicely.
Oh, puts a squeeze on him.
This one to the front on, so Quinn down the inside of the traditional line into turn number 1 as cars ran wide, opened up positions for a challenge down there. Mostly safely through the first sequence of turns.
Awesome job by all the drivers.
Great job. Some great slow-mo shots through the high-speed sweeper down there at turn 5 and 6. So we just got 1 lap in the books before the Vodafone Ford Mustang safety car was called, and it now slows the field up. Good job for Tony Quinn. He was fast.
Tony's pretty good, and you can see he knows he's got the car to win the race, so a little bit defensive, just covering his line, making sure Jones can't get a run on him. Once he gets a little bit of heat in those tyres, he'll just let the big girl loose, and away he'll go.
Great description. So 7 categories inside this. This has taken a few weeks to put together. Nathan Case has had a lot to do with getting this organised, just to get race cars out of sheds in Queensland and back onto a circuit.
Yeah, it's just had to put everyone in the one race and then get some classes. So 7 different classes. Tried to give everyone a chance of getting a podium and a pole position, and so far everyone's really been enjoying themselves, and the biggest relief for me was seeing everyone get through that turn 2 safely on the first lap. So that's awesome to see.
You and I have always been fans of rolling starts anyway. I think they're much easier for a category like this when you've got such a disparity between first and last.
Big difference in engine performance, so big difference in the launch from a standing start, even the rolling start, but it just tidies it up a little bit. And you know, these guys aren't pro racers. Standing starts, unless you're really on top of your clutch maintenance and your driveline maintenance, it can get pretty expensive. So there's a lot of pluses to the rolling start.
So starting the safety car here in the Townsville Tin Tops as part of the MTI Townsville Super Sprint. Cars working their way through the Dunlop hairpin. And good news is, dude, we're about to go back to green flag racing with just over 15 minutes remaining. Quinn stacking the field up here.
Well, they're bunched up. The guys at the back need to push up. There's a big gap back there.
So round we go to take the green flag. Jason Gomesol's car out of harm's way. We go back to racing. It's not a lap distance, it's all about time as Harry Jones goes with him on the charge back to the very fast sweeper at turn number 1. Taunton's still
look for 5 here under brakes. Come on, Josh, throw it down there, brother.
Not this time.
No. Oh, he's run wide, Jeff. Let's see what happens on the other side.
Declan Fraser out there in the Red Hot Couriers entry. As closest to a local race, he'll get the boy from Mackay. In his second outing for the Anderson Motorsport team, Fife will over the back of Taunton through Hino Corner. While Quinn Jones in a bit of a margin, in car with Luke Gilden.
In the Porsche, looking at Fife and Taunton in front of him. Fife has another look. Jeff gives him a bit of room, which is quite nice. He had the presence of mind that he was there and just said, if you want to have a look there, mate, now, get him now.
It's an issue. That car slowing down and allows Yilden to go through. In fact, he'll drop behind the back of Fraser here. So something to fly with the
Declan has a look there as well. Come on, Declan, step on that loud pedal, mate. They're always giving him one. Come on, Desmond. Interesting to see what happened there. But Taunton looks like he's regained his composure and he's back at it. So let's see what Declan Fraser can do here. 5-litre Holden push rod versus 5-litre overhead quad cam Ford Coyote motor.
Fraser back through that sequential gearbox in the car that powered Cam Waters to the Super 2 Championship back in 2015. So whatever's happened to Taunton's car has cleared itself. So you get a feeling maybe it's electric.
Might have been just a bit of frightening him off the track, mate, because Josh was definitely having a look. Wanted to get on with it, didn't he?
Those driver electrics are car electrics. Through the Cotai corner. Back in car.
Declan's strengths will be under brakes. So a young guy on top of his driving game, carrying good corner speed. He's got to line him up for a pass under brakes. He can get a run through here and just drive it down the inside. He's going to go for it. Stick it down there, mate. No. Look how strong that MARC car is under brakes. He got ABS on that MARC car as well. He's helping Jeff out there.
So Fraser sits just behind him here in 7th position in car 777. Picked up the pole on the race win at Newcastle and Toyota 86 competition last year. Look further down the field here now. It's still Tony Quinn with 1.3 seconds and the fastest lap of the race, 1:15.0 on the first flying lap of the restart. And already a 40-second margin back to the 86ers that tail towards the back of the field here.
Yeah, we're going to get some lap traffic, which will be interesting to see who can negotiate it. There we're on board with Nash. Having a lovely Saturday afternoon drive in the 86.
He currently runs in 23rd place and about to set his fastest lap of the race. Back to second gear. You've taught him well.
Yeah. Well, he's sort of, I've been teaching him, the other boys have, so I'm trying to stay out of it, not be a BMX dad.
I know what you like around there. Around the back of the circuit we go once again. Yilden and Ryan Sewell.
Oh, yeah, these guys are about to have a good scrap. Here we go, Declan having a look at the Jeff Taunton again, just sneaking the nose. Oh, we're going to get him now.
And that was...
Yep, and Declan just moves him over a bit and says, if you want to come back on, mate, you're going to have a piece of my left rear door.
Taunton bowled the biggest line of the day so far. Down at turn 11, and allows Fraser to move up a position. He goes up into 6th. Another lap in the books, so just over 11.5 minutes remaining. Race 1 of the Townsville Tin Tops. A great initiative to get all these cars back on the circuit in what's been a really difficult year. This is the BP Ultimate Replay with Taunton going wide, allowing Fraser to make the position.
Yeah, I think he's just got on the ABS a bit hard, and when the ABS comes in, it just increases your braking area and just runs you wide. Oh, what's happened here?
That's Quinny. So I saw him plunging down the order, and he's had to come into the pits.
I hope he hasn't had a penalty. There's nothing from race control, is there?
Well, that'd be about right. 34 seconds from one end to the other. We didn't get anything from race control. So Tony Quinn suddenly comes out in 13th position, handing the lead now to Harry Jones. So the Super Stuttgart class now leads outright.
Stuttgart.
So a lot of work to do, and he's around the likes of Elliott and Matty Stewart, who are about 6 or 7 seconds down the road.
Well, this will be a nice comeback to watch. He will slice through the field, get back into it, see what his lap times look like. We got Jones in the Porsche, 5 in the Super 3 car, Yielder in the Porsche, Sewell in the Porsche, and then Declan Fraser in the next Super 3 car.
It's a good mixture of cars inside that top 5. Meantime, the little BMW is in the mix as well.
Yeah, these guys are having a good time. Has a look.
That was wild.
The BMW should have the line. He's going to go for the big classic switchback. This is some excellent racing from these guys. And now the inside front locking. Oh, another switchback.
They'll have to be careful.
This is some classic Bell racing.
Our leader's not too far away from this crew of cars.
They're still at a boat.
Side by
Here we
side.
go. We could be 3 wide here, mate.
Not this time. The BMW will have the line into the hairpin.
There we go. Now I'm going for another cutback. Closes him off.
And there's the race leader.
Off.
The race leader is at the back of this shot now. So Jones trying to pick his way through no less than 5 cars down to the final turn here.
These guys are still at it, mate, at the next corner. Classic racing from these fellas.
Jones will just reel them up. They continue on with their battle. And Jones's lead is out to over 6 seconds now to 5. Well, these guys are down outside the top 20. Watch for 5. There he is in the white VE2 Commodore.
There he is, Douglas in the BMW. Closes back up under brakes. Wilford in the production 86, giving the leaders some room.
This is Yilden now.
Yeah, so this has allowed Yilden work his way through the traffic nicely, showing his experience.
Classic bit of motor racing through the backside of the circuit on the BP Ultimate Replay. Harry Jones continues to lead by 6 seconds to 5 for Yilden. Really enjoying this. Back in car now with Yilden. It's a whole windscreen full of Commodore just ahead. There's a lap car further ahead here, but he's losing ground to Harry Jones.
5 sticks the nose down. Yilden comes with him, and he will pounce.
Great racing.
Oh, this lap traffic's just brought a whole new... It's like Formula 1 cars, they get lapped.
Exactly. Ryan Sewell is also just in the back of that group of cars, and Declan Fraser trying to chase him as he picks off now on the back markers. So Tony Quinn has made his way back up into 11th position, and now Yilden
has a run. Went for the side run, but the V8 uses its straight line advantage.
The difference between the 2 cars.
Let's see what Luke does under brakes here. Oh, the Flash has had a spin.
That's not the way that Flash wants to hit the final turn as well. So the Auslan security car, car 94. It's your old livery from the mid-2000s.
Yeah, that's what he's modeled it off.
Yeah, looks cool. Missed the flames. Now he's trying to find a spot here to rejoin. Maybe going to do a flick spin in the 86, but it'll drop him down. Still runs in 22nd position with a few cars now in the
Something
pits.
going on there. Maybe he's just waiting for a...
Be pretty busy down there.
Let's have a look.
BP Ultimate Replay. And comes in. Was there a
Been
stick?
hit? Oh, you're kidding. Oh, yeah. That was Busky, I think. Lap traffic.
Definite contact down there at the final turn. Meantime, cars in the pits. And nothing the old zippy cables can't do. Looks like that's Elliott back in the pits. as Jones completes another lap and has put daylight back to these guys. So it's almost a three-car scrap now between Fife, Yulden and Ryan Sewell, second, third and fourth. Declan Fraser not too far behind, about 2 seconds down the road, as we're just inside the final 6.5 minutes down to turn number 1 in car with the former Bathurst 1000 champion.
Okay, the lap times are pretty similar. You see the different strengths and weaknesses of the cars here. So Luke's dealing with a little bit of understeer mid-corner, which is not helping him. Yeah, this way slow mid-corner for a Porsche, so some sort of issue there for Luke for sure. He's battling.
Got the call up this morning when Bob Woods decided to jump out of the 9, and Luke's had success with the number 9 over the last few years. He teamed up with David Reynolds in the Pertec Enduro Cup. Meantime, here's our pole sitter and former race leader, Tony Quinn, who's in 11th. The guy just ahead, the teenager, Nathan Hearn, in the TA2 car, will be next in the target of the Aston Martin as they go around through the backside, through turns 7, 8 and 9 of this Reid Park Street Circuit.
Maybe he just come in because he wanted to get some passing practice.
Maybe.
We'll find out.
Certainly caught race control by surprise.
Hearn's doing a great job to stay with the MARC car here.
So coming up towards the yellow flag being waved, so there's an incident down here perhaps. Well, Harry Jones still 10 seconds clear, but the battle is on for second, third, fourth and fifth in race number 1. So Quinn pulls out for a look here on Nathan Hearn, gets the job done through the sweeper and moves up another spot. So the Aston Martin on the charge.
Takes the MARC car as well. 2 for 1. Lights are up and away he goes.
The Yulden.
He's put that gap back now.
The 5 just got him covered a bit here. There's that yellow flag.
Oh,
We've got yellow again.
car.
So with 4 minutes to go, Vodafone's safety car has been called for the second time in this race. And this is good news for Fife, Yulden and Sewell, not so for Harry Jones with that 10-second lead.
Hopefully get this tidied up and we get a 1-lap shootout here.
And I like that. So they'll...
Oh, that's Nash turned around again.
Did he get going, or is that still the original incident?
No, I'm sure he got going.
No, he hasn't.
Oh, okay, it's probably broken a drive shaft or something.
So just waiting patiently to move, or they'll try and tow him off. So there's some kind of movement in the Auslan security entry. And yeah, he's gone 2 or 3 laps down now in the process. He's...
Oh, okay. There he goes.
So he'll rejoin the field. It should be a very short safety car period as he'll chase the tail of the field.
Bunch him up.
So Tony Quinn still quickest lap of the race, but that was the halfway mark, 1:15.09, as Jones catches the Vodafone Ford Mustang safety car on their way down towards turn 5, the Cooper's Sweep and Coates High corner complex.
Well, we're going green this lap. This is exactly what we wanted, Hot Dog. This is going to be good.
You might get a couple of extra laps in here. 3 minutes, so no lap set. It's all about time. But this has spiced up the race with Jones, who had the race shut down. In fact, he was pulling the roller door down on this race.
Okay, we've got a lap car between first and second. One of the TA2 cars, I think. So that will play into Jones's hand.
And to Quinn, perhaps.
And to Quinn. Quinny was going to have a go here. Let's see where he can get back to. Because that lapper needs to bunch up. The green TA2 car. But they cannot pass him till they get to the start-finish line. So Jones is going to get a nice free kick here and should be able to get the job done.
It'll be Anthony Tenkate, the TA2 car that's in between the group. That's 5. So leader, lap car, then second, third, fourth and fifth. Keep an eye on the Aston Martin a bit further down the field. Safety car goes in, and we have 2 minutes of racing remaining in the Townsville Tin Tops here today.
Jones's bowler, mate, played right into his hands here. The lappers have spread the field.
Instantly 2 seconds. 5 down the inside.
The 2 Porsches should come with him. For Yulden and Sewell. hopefully he just stays wide. Declan comes through as well. Let's hope he's seeing Declan, because Declan will stick it straight down the inside here now.
It's a good drive from 10K, held his line.
Fantastic. Situational awareness. Good job.
So now we have some clean racetrack ahead of us. Quinn up into 8th position. Taunton is next on his list, where Ryan Sewell starts to throw the virtual hook out on Luke Youlden just ahead. And already Harry Jones, well, you're right, he got the free kick. Well over 2 seconds is his lead.
Well, he had a big lead, so you can't really be too hard on him for that, but good to see him back out in front. He'll try and punch in some good lap times now. Taunton, and here comes Quinny. Oh, he hasn't seen him. Quinny just breathes on the brake, because I reckon that front end of that Aston Martin will be a little bit more expensive than the rear end of that TO2 car.
This is starting to see dollar signs going up in the air at the Dunlop hairpin. He
gives him one. So Quinny's let him know he's here. He's giving him a bit of a tap on the bumper. Lights up the Aston Martin and away he goes.
Watch him stretch the legs down this long straight with a very fast right-hand sweeper.
He'll get Taunton here too. Line him up straight down the inside, I believe.
When you look at the moment, there's battles all around this circuit. Inside the final minute of competition now. So Jones, who inherited the lead when Tony Quinn came into the pits, we're still unsure why he did it, but it spiced up the race nonetheless.
Declan Fraser's back in this too. Awesome experience for this guy. Graduate from the Trader 86 series. It's his second time in this car. To get these laps under his belt around this awesome Townsville Street Circuit is invaluable.
Time Jones on his way down to turn number 11. Instantly 4 seconds. They won't catch him in this one. We pan back through the field. So Quinn, from dropping down to 13th, has got his way back up inside the top 10 into 7th position. While Jones works his way down to what should be the final lap of the race. Timer has stopped and the Helimods entry sets sail for home.
Big lead there, mate. Nearly 5 seconds. 5 Youlden, Sewell and Fraser. This is where the battle is.
Ryan Sewell really working the back of Luke Youlden's car. Cut of an eye. And Mike just go for a move here, dude.
Shuts him down. Luke's on top of that one and says, no way, Jose.
That's 20 plus years of experience right there. Fraser just sitting back in the shadows of these two Carrera Cup cars through the left-hander for the final time. They bounce across the curves. Change of direction once again. This is just letting Fife disappear. He's going to hold on to 2nd place with a handful of turns remaining.
Yeah, looks like he's out of tyres. He's struggling, but he's smart enough just to put the car where he needs to. One more corner to cover off, which he'll do.
They're too far back to make the move. Meantime, this guy was awesome, the 21-year-old who wrapped up last year's Porsche Sprint Challenge competition for McElroy Racing is going to kick off the Townsville Super Sprint in style, collecting the win. Give it to Harry Jones in race number 1. And 6 seconds back to our 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th place getters. Fife, Youlden, Sewell and Fraser. And guess what? Tony Quinn got 6th position in all of that.
Good comeback from Quinny. The battle's still going down through the field.
Hearn just coming up short. Outside the top 10 in 11th position. In a race that was polluted with safety cars. We'll give it to Harry Jones from this one. 5 second, Youlden 3rd, Sewell and Fraser will be the top 5 in race number 1 here today. Thoroughly enjoyed that. We promised it was going to be exciting. It delivered.
They turned it on. Plenty of action, and the lap has helped.
Well done.